Hey kids, it's Mr. Fly here, hope you're well. Out and about on another bike review on a cold but sunny winter's day. Today I'm riding another 125cc machine. This is the Hanway Scrambler. Stick around and stay tuned, I'll tell you what I think of it. So the Hanway Scrambler then, what's that all about? Well, it's another one of these Chinese sourced 125cc machines. I'm a big fan of these little bikes. I've talked about Chinese bikes before on the channel, and a lot of people poo-poo them, but until you've tried them, I would caution against that, because value for money wise, I think they're pretty good. About a year or so ago, last year, I borrowed a Sinis Scrambler through winter and ran the bike, and again, similar sort of machine, had absolutely no issues with it throughout the winter. You've got to look after them, you've got to treat them carefully, just like any other motorcycle. You can't, just because you haven't spent much money on them, then abuse them. But if you look after them, then they look after you. And this particular example, the Hanway 125, I think looks super cool. I'll do a walk around later and show you the some of the great little features on it. Things like the exhaust, I think, on here is great. And it sounds great as well, actually. And things like the little instrument binnacle on here, absolutely brilliant. It's even got a proper fuel gauge. You know, if you just want a basic bike to get you to work, if you haven't got far to go, or you're learning to ride, you want to learn your craft, you haven't got too much money, then you can get yourself a brand new bike like this for less than £2,000. Absolutely amazing. Alright, so let's go through the basics of the bike then, in terms of what it's going to give you for the money. Well, comfort wise, really nice seating position. Handlebars feel quite high up, actually. It's not a bad thing, it's just different to what I expected, I guess. Well, legs are at basically 90 degrees, it's a very upright position. Seat's nice and comfortable. Big padded seat on this. Great note to the engine out of that standard pipe. The mirrors, I'm pleased to say, work really nicely. They're really nice mirrors, actually. I mean, they don't look at all cheap. Some of these Chinese import type bikes have really wobbly, horrible mirrors, but these you'd have no need to change these. There's a good view out of them, and they're actually quite a nice quality feel to them. The switch gear is fine as well, nice and positive to use. Nothing complicated about the bike, of course. Suspension feels a little bit on the budget side on this road, which is quite bumpy anyway. It's quite the suspension's quite hard. It's not bone jarring, but it could be a little bit softer, it has to be said. I'm just checking behind to see how close the nearest car is. Let's just try the brakes. The brakes aren't earth-shattering, it has to be said, but they're adequate. They stop the bike. Really lightweight, so again, if you're in the urban environment, this is as much as you need. If you want to nip in and out of traffic, this would be perfect for that. Handling wise, takes a little bit of getting used to. You actually have to muscle the bike around the corners a little bit. I actually quite like that feeling, but you have to consciously sort of counter steer around corners. Not that I've shown you many of those so far, because it's one of those bikes that kind of feels like you set and forget it. You know, once you're going in a straight line, it stays there, and you have to properly tell it that you want to change direction, which is fine with me, because it means that it's nice and stable in the corners. And of course, it being a single cylinder 125 machine, not only is it going to be cheap to buy and insure, but it's going to be very frugal on petrol, so cheap to run as well. Right, sir. Hello. Gearbox is surprisingly good, actually. I've ridden a few of these types of bikes. As I mentioned, I think I've ridden 3 or 4 of these 125cc type bikes. This is definitely one of the nicer ones to ride. Helped, I think, largely actually by that exhaust note, which is just gorgeous. Not quite sure. I do like the look of this instrument binnacle, but I'm not quite sure what's going on with it, because I'm pretty sure, number one, it's not in miles an hour, because I'm definitely not doing 50 miles an hour. If it's in kilometres, and it seems to me like it's reading high, but that might just be a calibration issue that's easily sorted, don't know. But other than that, just on this short ride I've had so far, not really anything about the bike that I don't like. It's got planted handling on it, it really has. Mirrors work well. A little bit of vibration through the seat and pegs. Not really any through the handlebars. but it's not at that sort of frequency that would really annoy you. It's not that bad, it has to be said, but there is some vibration there. A lot of people just won't entertain small capacity machines, but I have to say it's far more fun absolutely ragging a small engine bike than going out on the road and not touching any of the capability that a litre bike has. Of course big sports bikes are fun, but you need to be on a racetrack. On the road, and for me small capacity bikes are just a hoot. Physically quite a small bike. I'm only a sort of medium to small size fella. I think if you're a big person you might struggle on the Hanway. There's nothing complicated about this bike at all, nothing in the way of fancy electronics, of course, you wouldn't expect it at this price. It does have LED lights though, and as I say, the LED instrument binnacle, although there seems to be something slightly awry. I'm definitely not doing 70 kilometres an hour. I haven't said that, maybe I am, it's a 50 zone, who knows. Yeah, I like it. Well, let's come down here and find my favourite little spot to do a walk around of the bike and show you some of the cool features on here actually. Again, for a very definite budget bike, it's got some style and features about this bike that you just wouldn't expect, so let me park up here and I'll show you what I mean. Right, let's just pop her in here. I don't know, but this may be one of those bikes that won't run when you put the side stand down. Let's see. A lot of the Chinese ones are like that. Let's pop her into neutral. And neutral is there. Easy to get into neutral, and again clear that you're in neutral. I love this little instrument display and the fuel gauge as well. Many bike manufacturers could learn from this. Right, what's a stand like then? Oh, there we go. It won't run with the stand down. It'll run on the centre stand but not on the side stand. That's very standard, as I say, for these sort of bikes. Okay, let's have a look then. So styling wise, classic Scrambler. High mudguard at the front, knobbly tyres. I think it looks really, really cute. And this is the bit that I really love about it in terms of styling. This exhaust, that's what sounds so good. And I think it looks pretty cool as well. And what I quite like about it is they haven't made it high level, so you're not going to burn yourself on it, which is one of the issues I had with the other Scramblers I've ridden. Alrighty, let me get my phone out then, the other camera. I'll get the specs out and I'll talk you through what this one has to offer in the usual way. Here she is then, the Hanway 125 Scrambler. Cute looking little machine. I love knobbly tyres and this overall sort of Scrambler look. It's my thing. I far prefer it to calf racers. Let me just show you some of those features I said that I liked about the bike before I just take you through the spec, which won't take very long. So the rear light, for example, look at that little LED light on here. I think looks the biz. LED indicators as well. No doubt they're probably cheap ones, but they just look right on a bike like this. Nice little padded seat. This front high level mudguard is the biz, of course. And again, you've got these little LED indicators that just look cool. If I show you down here, this is the detail of the sort of engine. I like things like this little casing they've got on here, and it just looks good. They've done a nice job on the styling, I think. Really, really good. Okay, spec then. I won't take long because, of course, not much of a spec. The engine, 124.6cc air-cooled single engine. I guess this is based on that Suzuki copyrighted design, the GN 125, whatever it is, but pretty bulletproof engine. Brakes, disc brakes on the front, single disc, and these brakes on here, and of course single disc on the back. These are combined, so no ABS on here. On bikes of this capacity, you don't need to have ABS for it to be Euro 4 compliant. Suspension, very basic, telescopic forks, but they are upside down forks on here on the front, which is surprising for a bike of this type. Seat height, really low, 720 millimetres. Nice padded seat on here though, nice and comfy. A little bit slippery, if anything, in my particular textiles, but looks cool. They look really good from behind, don't they, these sort of things. Trade plate on here, by the way, if you're wondering. Weight of it, 102 kilograms. How about that? I rode the Honda Goldwing recently. That was 328 kilograms or something. This is less than a third of that. So that's part of the joy of these lower capacity bikes. 102 kilograms, super, super light. Tank capacity, 13 litres. Going to be super frugal. I imagine you're going to get, well, you're probably going to get 100 miles per gallon out of this sort of bike. Electronics, none really, as I mentioned, other than that little LCD dash and the indicators. But the thing that we like about this, the price on the road, £1,895, absolutely incredible. And it looks like actually with those knobblies, and well, you could do with maybe a bash plate perhaps, but you could possibly attempt the odd green lane on it as well, so you could have some real fun on it. So there we go, that's the Hanway 125 Scrambler. Let's jump back on and ride her a bit more. Oh, so lovely and light when you jump on. Brilliant. Stands easy to get to. Goes through its little flicky routine. And it is kilometres now, by the way. But it'd be interesting to get a phone with a GPS and just kind of calibrate that. Because it felt like I wasn't going as quick as that said. Anyway, might just be me. Right, nothing coming. What a fun little bike. Oh, and a beautiful day as well to be riding it. I say thanks as ever to the guys up at the bike den in Watford who very kindly loaned me the bike for this review. Go and check them out. They've got all sorts of bikes in their dealership there. I'll stick a link below to them so you can go and see them, have a go on this very bike if you want to. Don't forget to tell them that I sent you. So I really like this little 125 machine. Obviously you're never going to be setting the world alight on a 125, but I have ridden a few of these now, and as I say, a few of these Chinese source ones as well. And of them all that I've ridden, I would say this is towards the top in terms of its ride quality. It just feels solid. It doesn't feel like it's going to drop to bits or anything like that. And it sounds absolutely cracking with that exhaust pipe. It's amazing how a decent exhaust also makes a bike feel quicker, isn't it? Mirrors are good, seats good, brakes work okay. It's got the sort of go you'd expect for a 125. It's frugal. And as I say, yeah, on the road at the moment, at the bike den, I think they're saying 1895 for a brand new one of these, which is just nuts, isn't it? So if you're just starting out in biking, or indeed if you just want a fun weekend plaything that you want to blat down a green lane occasionally, maybe this could tick the boxes for you. Right, hope you've enjoyed that. I hope that was of some interest. If it's the first time you've seen one of my reviews, thanks for watching. It'd be great to have you along. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. I don't just do bike reviews here on the Missenden Flyer, but I do trips and tours, how to look after your bike. Let's just see where this lady's going. I do bike news, the odd live stream. Basically anything and everything to do with motorcycles, I'll try and cover it on the Missenden Flyer. It'd be great to have you along. So as I say, hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. That would be great. I'll come round here. Thank you. Alrighty, that's it for now. Look forward to speaking to you again soon. Until then, this has been the Missenden Flyer. Cheerio.